Everyone, and welcome to my next manifestation masterclass. Today, I'm going to share with you the secret to absolute inner freedom. Now, if you found this video now, I have started the session a few weeks ago. So start from the first session to really grasp, every aspect of manifestation. Now, why is emotional freedom so important? We cannot manifest what we want if we are constantly fixated on what's happening around us in our environment, trying to control circumstances, and constantly being triggered by situations with fear, anxiety, uncertainty, doubt, frustration, anger. It's very difficult then to stay focused on what you would like to achieve. And I want to share with you some snippets out of a book that is absolutely life transforming. It is such a powerful book. I would really recommend that you actually get this book and read it. It's called The Untethered Soul by Michael Singer, and it is absolutely life transforming. If you are able to practice what this book teaches, you will live with absolute emotional freedom, absolute inner freedom. And yes, I want to share with you this today. So let's start. The very first powerful realization is in chapter 1, where he speaks about the voice inside your head. So let me read from chapter 1. In case you haven't noticed, you have a mental dialogue going on inside your head that never stops. Isn't that true? And that's why we struggle to really meditate and focus, because this voice continuously talks to us. If you are smart, you'll take the time to step back, examine this voice, and get to know it better. Why is it talking? It's you who's talking and it's you who's listening. And when the voice argues with itself, who is it arguing with? If you're hearing it talk, it's obviously not you. Now here comes the aha moment. You are the one who hears the voice. You are the one who notices that it's talking. Now I want you to do this exercise with me. Make this voice say hello right now. So in your mind, just say hello and repeat it a few times. Hello, hello, hello. Now shout it inside. Can you hear yourself saying hello inside? Of course you can. There is a voice talking, and there is you who notices the voice talking. Now, this was quite a profound realization for me, because we tend to think that the voice inside our head is you. But it's not. You are the one that is listening to that voice, because if you are able to hear that voice speaking, it is speaking to you. It's not you. So that's a very important distinction, that you can actually observe that voice, that you are the observer. Now he continues to use an analogy of your inner roommate, to almost observe this inner voice as almost this crazy person that you share, a flat with. And why do we keep on listening to this voice? Why do we keep taking advice from this voice? Because it is not us. And I actually did the exercise that it suggested, to take a day and just observe. In that entire day, observe how this voice is speaking to you, what it's saying, that it's constantly talking about anything and everything, that it never shuts up. And we need to start realizing that we are not that voice. Now then we go on to talk about energy. So no solution in any situation can possibly exist while you're lost in the energy of the problem. The first problem that you have to deal with is your own reaction. So this inner voice consistently have an opinion, a reaction to our external circumstances. There's something inside of you that can have a problem with almost anything. You have to break the habit of thinking that the solution to your problems is to rearrange things outside. You are the one who is in there noticing these things. You're so closed that you don't realize that you're actually hypnotized into listening to this voice, the part of you that never shuts up. Spend a day in watching every single thing your roommate does. So I want to suggest to you to do this. Take today or tomorrow and observe what this inner voice is saying to you. Just be the observer for one day. I promise you, if you realize the freedom that you have when you observe this voice, you would want to live like that every single day. Just spend a day with that inner voice of yours. Then we go to chapter 5 about infinite energy. Consciousness is one of the great mysteries in life. Inner energy is another. Every movement in your body, every emotion you have, and every thought that passes through your mind is an expenditure of energy. Just as everything that happens outside in the physical world requires energy, everything that happens inside requires an expenditure of energy. You also assert energy to deal with your emotions. We all know how exhausting that is. If you have an emotion you don't like and it's interfering with what you're doing, you just push it aside. You do this almost instinctively so that the unwanted emotion doesn't come up and disturb you. Every one of these acts is an expenditure of energy. Now, this book links back to my previous session about resistance. We are resisting situations because we don't want to feel that disturbance within us when something is being triggered. So automatically, we tend to suppress it back into the body. We don't allow it to actually let go. He uses an example of someone going through a breakup, and he's devastated because his girlfriend left him and he's depleted. He's got motivation for nothing. He can't wake up in the morning. He doesn't have energy for anything. He's just completely tired, sometimes sleeping, through the days because he's absolutely heartbroken. So having no energy. And then one day, that girlfriend or ex-girlfriend calls him and says to him that, I'm so sorry, I made the biggest mistake of my life, to leave you. And in a split second, he's got so much energy and he's excited and he's getting dressed, to meet up with her, and he's, elevated, on cloud 9. So the reason why I illustrate the story is to prove that energy does not necessarily come from the food that we eat and the exercise that we do. Yes, it is absolutely important, and there's truth to that. But what he wants to illustrate is what you'll see if you watch carefully is that you have a phenomenal amount of energy inside you. It doesn't come from food and it doesn't come from sleep. This energy is always available to you. At any moment, you can draw upon it. So the example he used was, how was it possible for someone that was completely drained and depleted and depressed, and in an instant, he was absolutely energized? Where did that energy come from? And this is the point he wants to make. The only reason you don't feel this energy all the time is because you block it. You block it by closing your heart, by closing your mind, and by pulling yourself into a restrictive space inside. So I want to stop here for a moment. I have recently, also read up and watched a few videos on your shadow self. And this reminds me of that. The reason why we close our heart. When we were younger, we inevitably get hurt by things and people and situations. You might have been 10 years old and maybe the youngest in the family and always wanted attention, and you wanted to show your talents and you were always, made quiet and being told that you're too much. And in that moment, there's an inner part of you that that starts existing. Excuse me. They call it that the part of you starts to fragment. So there's a shadow side of you that's very vulnerable, that's been hurt. And then in the same moment, there's the hero side of you that actually develops. And that hero side protects the shadow part of you so that that shadow part doesn't get hurt. For example, now as you grow older, you've become very independent, not relying on anyone, not needing anyone's help, and never asking for help because you're strong, and confident and independent in yourself. But that part of you is actually protecting this vulnerable side of you. So you will do anything and everything in your power to never be in a situation where that vulnerable side of you is being exposed, being hurt. So you will make sure that you are never in a situation where you need to ask for help, or to ask for guidance. And that side of you becomes very strong. And then we actually, not without realizing it, we closed our heart. We closed our mind because we don't want to feel that vulnerability. So when you close your heart or close your mind, you hide in the darkness within you. There is no light. There is no energy. There is nothing flowing. The energy is still there, but it can't get in. That is what it means to be blocked. Now, this happens inevitably in all our lives. We all have a shadow self, and many of them that we protect. And he uses an example. Let's say that you love somebody and you feel very open in their presence. And because you trust them, your walls come down, allowing you to feel lots of high energy. But if they do something that you don't like, that hurts you, the next time you see them, you don't feel as high. You don't feel as much love. Instead, you feel a tightness in your chest. This happens because you closed your heart. And we all do this. If you've ever truly loved someone and let down your guard, there will be triggers that will happen. It's inevitable. But in those moments is when we are closing our hearts. But you should never leave something as important as your energy flow to chance. If you like energy, and you do, then don't ever close. The more you learn to stay open, the more the energy can flow into you. You simply decide not to close. Now, again, this links back to my previous video where I explained how we deal with resistance and to acceptance. It's a decision. It first starts with the decision to, no matter what, no matter how you get triggered, no matter how hurt you might feel, to make the decision that you will not close. This is crucial to that absolute inner freedom. This is the key, the secret. It's simple, yet it's not always easy to follow through. As long as you are defining what you like and what you don't like, you will open and close. Going back to resistance. You are actually defining your limits. You are allowing your mind to create triggers that open and close you. Let go of that. Dare to be different. Enjoy all of life. Would be nice. If you are willing to open even more and never stop, you become a source of light for those around you. Just keep opening and not closing. Energy can heal, and that's why love can heal. Nothing ever is worth closing your heart over. Very, very profound. Like I said, it's not simple, but this is the way. If you want to live a true life of happiness, fulfillment, and passing through the challenges in life and the difficulties, which there will be. It's not to say that if you do this, life is going to flow effortlessly and with ease and there will never be problems and challenges in life. No. It means that you can still be enlightened and happy, even though those difficult situations happen. This is meant to be going on inside of you all times. The highest state that you have ever experienced is simply the result of how open you were. If you don't close and can be like that all the time, don't sell yourself short. This can go on all the time. Unending inspiration, unending love, and unending openness. That is the natural state of a healthy heart. You live in love and it feeds you and strengthens you. That is an open heart. Now we go to transcending the tendency to close, because even though we have this absolute wisdom, it is a habit of us to tend to close when we get hurt. We all do it. To page 62. And this now speaks again to those shadow selves that we have. Right now, many fragmented parts of your psyche are held within you. If you want to be free, it all has to be equally exposed to your awareness and released. So the only way that you can heal these shadow selves is to bring them to the surface, to stop suppressing it, hiding it in the darkness, eating away at your energy. It is to bring it up into awareness so that it can be released. So you catch on no matter how much pain the exposure creates. You are willing to pay that price for freedom. Begin by seeing the tendency to protect and defend yourself. Whenever that pain is triggered, your natural tendency is to get away from that hurt and not feel it and not think about it. So make a decision that your freedom is more important than to getting away from that pain. So no matter how much it might hurt, stay open. You can then give yourself the ultimate gift by deciding not to do that anymore. You decide instead to get rid of that part. And you get rid of that part not by suppressing it or trying to ignore it. The reward for not protecting your psyche is liberation. You are free to walk through this world without a problem on your mind. You are just having fun experiencing whatever happens next. The moment you see the energy getting imbalanced inside, the moment you see the heart starting to tense and get defensive, just stop. I explained it in my previous masterclass when I spoke about resistance. It's moving away from the mind, the head space, because the moment that you get triggered by a situation, your first tendency is to analyze the situation. How could this happen? Why did this happen? This is unfair. And you go into a spiral of negativity, of amplifying the problem and triggering yourself even more. There's actually this cartoon that I see of, I remember this cartoon where the person sits and cries on their bed and the friend says, "Why are you crying?" And this person says, "I just hurt my own feelings." And it reminds me of, we do that, we go into this mental space of analyzing and overanalyzing and overthinking and overcomplexing the situation and having these conversations in our mind with people because we got hurt and upset. This is what we should not do. So in that moment where you realize, so this takes awareness, an immense amount of self-awareness to stop going into your old habits and just feel in your body what is happening. Where is the sensation? Where is the hurt? Where do you feel it in your body? And allow yourself to feel it, to truly feel the feeling, not judging it, not analyzing it, not going into the problem, because the problem is not outside of you. It triggered something that was within you already. So just notice it, feel it, let it go. If you struggle to do that, in one of my sessions, I explained how to use tapping. Then use tapping as a method to let go of the emotion. Every single time you get triggered, find a method, a technique, whatever that might be, to use this as an opportunity to grow, to heal it, to let go, and not hold on to it. Because the moment that you go into your mind space and analyze it, you are holding on to it. Choose to no longer do that. When the energies inside start to move, you do not have to go there. For instance, when your thought starts, you do not have to go with them. So I'm practicing this myself, and I know the power it has to shift you into, the next level into your life. It's actually about letting go of the pull that the energy itself has on your consciousness, because it's surfacing all of these negative thoughts and things. So letting go means falling behind the energy instead of going into it. So going behind the energy means just observing it. Observe it as a sensation in your body. Yes, it feels uncomfortable. Yes, you feel sad, you feel hurt. It's okay. Allow the emotion to be there. It just takes a moment of conscious effort to decide that you're not going there. You just let go. So you decide to use life to free yourself. So using life to free yourself is every single instant that you get triggered, you use it as an opportunity to let it go, to release it, to heal. And in the last few weeks, I've noticed a lot of shifts in myself, because whatever that I'm teaching you, I'm practicing myself. I'm going through this process with yourself, as I've said right from the start. If you can be free, even though you're having these kind of feelings, then you're really free, because there will always be something. Okay? You need to realize there will always be something. There's at no point that there's never ever, going to be something. But you can get to a point where you will be free, even though these challenges are happening. And then finally, let go now or fall, chapter 8, the final bit I want to share with you. The natural ups and downs of life can either generate personal growth or create personal fears. Change can be viewed as either exciting or frightening. But regardless of how we view it, we must all face the fact that change is the very nature of life. Okay? Change is the very nature of life. That is why seasons exist. It's always going to be ups and downs. Now, fear doesn't want to feel itself. It's actually afraid of itself. So you utilize the mind in an attempt to manipulate life for the purpose of not feeling fear. Now, this is where control steps in. We want to control our external environment and circumstances so that we cannot feel fear. Okay? That's how scared we are of feeling fear, which is actually, if you take a step back and observe this, it is ridiculous that we are so scared of feeling a sensation that we will do anything not to feel it. When you have fear, insecurity, or weakness inside of you, and you attempt to keep it from being stimulated, there will inevitably be events and changes in life that challenge your efforts. Because you resist these changes, you feel that you are struggling with life. Your definitions of desirable and undesirable, as well as good and bad, all come about because you have defined how things need to be in order for you to be okay. So we have this tendency to think that things around us need to be a certain way so that I can be okay, which is, it is absolutely ridiculous to think that we need to control everything around us so that we are okay. For example, controlling the weather on your wedding day so that you have a happy wedding day. But you can have a wedding day whether it's rain or sunshine. It's a choice that you make. How did we come up with the notion that life is not okay just the way it is, or that it won't be okay the way it will be? Who said that the way life naturally unfolds is not right? The answer is fear says so. As you grow spiritually, you will realize that your attempts to protect yourself from your problems actually create more problems. The alternative is to decide not to fight with life, to stop resisting, to go with the flow. Fear is the cause of every problem. The purpose of spiritual evolution is to remove the blockages that cause your fear. You only have to be willing to open your heart in the face of anything and everything and permit the purification process to take place. The law is very straightforward. When your stuff gets hit, let go right then because it will be harder later. It won't be easier if you explore it or play with it, hoping to take the edge off. It won't be easier to think about it, talk about it, or try to release only part of it at a time. If you want to be free to the core of your being, you must let go right away because it will not be easier later. Because these emotions, they build up. They build up in your body. So it won't be easier later. It will be more difficult. So when a situation challenges you and triggers you, stop your natural tendency to want to talk about it. Don't complain about it. Don't think about it. Just sit with that energy in your body. Just feel it. Feel whatever comes up. Maybe it's a very old belief or shadow part of yourself that you in that moment realize. Maybe it started when you were 10 years old, and then let it go. Feel it. Use tapping, use meditation, and let that feeling go. It's a decision. It's a decision that from today onwards, every single time that something moves the energy within you, do not have that tendency to suppress it back. And this is crucial if you want to manifest whatever you desire in life, so that you can be free and move with the flow of life. So thank you very much for joining me in this session. Subscribe to this channel so that you get notified when I have my next session, and I'll see you in the next masterclass.